Hey guys, good night. Good night, y'all. Good night, good night, good night, good night. Thank you so much for coming in here tonight. How are you? You are blessed and highly favored. Oh my God. I am so happy to see you guys tonight. Oh, wow. Well, hey, Kanita. Good night, my love. Chile. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, thanks, love. Thank you. I so appreciate that. Thank you. Listen, I didn't go crazy today. Um, I really didn't decided to go crazy tonight at all. I really just wanted us to just talk, just talk a little bit tonight, and maybe just to see if you guys have any questions, and we could just interact. It's the day after Thanksgiving, so I'm not trying to really go too crazy tonight, but just really come in and talk a little bit, because we know what it was like being with these people and exactly what they're doing. And especially during a season like this, you already know what's happening and what some people are facing right now. So I just wanted to come in and hang out with my family tonight, because I know yesterday, most of you guys were probably out with your family having Thanksgiving dinner. And also, I know it might be a hard time for you, because this is the time when they come in and try to break you, hoover you, and it's not one of the best time for most people. But us as a family, we could hang out and talk. Hey, Miss Nims, good night. Welcome. Good night. Thanks for hanging out. I just really wanted to hop in tonight and just really check in with my family. Just really hang out with you guys tonight. And hello, who knows you TV? Thank you so much for joining me tonight to hang out. I really appreciate it. Um, Tonight and this season that we're walking into right now is really known as the Hoover season. It's cuffing season, as most of you guys know, and that's really what we're walking into right now. Really quickly, if you guys are, wait, hang on for a second. So really quickly, how are your goals today? All right, good. We're definitely going to touch on that. Let me just do a small welcome and an intro so I can invite everyone in and make them feel as welcome as we do hanging out together, right? So, welcome back to my channel, guys. If this is your first time, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is your girl, Nessa. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. Welcome to the Healing Your Silence family. This is where we dive deep into unhealed wounds and trauma that have left you broken so that we can now become whole again, right? And my goal is to empower you to become your greatest self. So, hanging out with me, you will overcome some of the challenges that you have faced. You will get to dive into childhood trauma. You will get to break some of these barriers and get to a better place. And we're going to be doing things more involved, more intense, and you're going to be able to see the progress, see the changes, see the results as we go along and as we continue. So if you haven't already, hit the like button. If you haven't already, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. For my new subscribers, thank you guys so much. This community is building. We are growing because we are no longer going to be suffering in silence. Instead, we are here to heal our silence, right? That part of us that's been broken, that's been silenced, we are here to heal that silence. And in order for us to get better at this, in order for us to heal, we're going to have to tap in, we're going to have to dive in, and we're going to have to go in deep. So, in order to get out of this mess that we put ourselves into, we're going to have to dive deep. And I know sometimes it's hard to accept the fact that we were the one who created this mess, but It's true. And that's just one of the harsh truth that we're going to have to accept and start to deal with. And it's not a blame game. So I really don't want you guys to be here blaming yourselves for anything that happened, because the reality of it is you are just a byproduct of your parents. You came from your parents. So whatever decisions they made, whatever values they instill in you, that's what you are, a product of what they created. You don't have to continue to stay that way. Absolutely not. But just remember, it's not your fault. Don't beat yourself up. Don't go so hard on yourself. It is okay. No one is walking around as if they're beyond perfect or they're perfect. No. Whatever happened, you were part of it. So if your parents didn't understand healthy boundaries or healthy things, then they're here. You're a result of what was going on there. So don't beat yourself up for attracting people who came in your life with their intentions to hurt you. Don't accept that. All right? Please don't. And like I said, we're here not to judge, but just to open up, just to talk, and just to feel like you're in a safe space where you can express yourself, you can be yourself, you can ask questions, and we could dive in and go deep into them and talk about it. Eventually, in the next couple of months coming up, we're going to have boot camps, we're going to have workshops where you're going to learn how to become confident. You're going to learn how to walk in your confidence. You're going to understand what it feels like to become whole again, to now walk in your authority, to have a voice if you didn't already have a voice, because clearly we've been broken for so long. We've been put down for so long that we want to become whole again. We want to be confident. We want to stand tall, and we want to walk brave. So don't feel as if you have to become that way overnight. Nothing happens overnight, and we're going to take as much time as we need to in order to become whole again, to take care of ourselves, and to do better. Miss Nim said, how are your goals today? Your gals today? Oh, the girls today. Listen, I'm seeing things. Well, the girls are doing great. The girls are doing phenomenal. And thank you so much for even asking about my well-being or my family and how we're doing. Thank you so much. Yesterday was Thanksgiving, and we hung out with family. It was beautiful. We had an amazing time, and it triggered my girls. So thank you for asking that. Not a lot of people think that this time, even though you're not with the narc or anything, that it would affect your kids. But I'm that parent where I don't hate the man. I don't. I don't have anything against him. I just understand who I am. I respect myself, my boundaries, and that's just what it is. And I'm not going to allow anyone to cross my boundaries. So my kids asked today, they're like, Mommy, I know Daddy hasn't called us in a while. Can we talk to him? Absolutely. Dialed his number immediately and handed them the phone. There's no animosity between him and myself. I don't speak to him. We don't need to have any conversation, and we don't need to have a relationship, because there's never going to be an existence of a relationship with him and myself. However, what I need to teach my kids, and what I've been teaching my kids, is to see me pick up the phone and talk to him, and there's nothing wrong. But the reason why we put no contact in the middle is because a lot of people are so weak. And it's not an insult. Pardon me if it sounds that way, but it's not an insult. We all lack boundaries at some point. So we all weren't able to put in that boundaries to say, you're not going to do this to me. You're not going to continue to disrespect me. So that's the reason that we say go no contact, because when you go no contact, that's you now becoming stronger, that's you becoming more disciplined, that's you instilling values in yourself to say, I'm not going to allow this, I'm not going to entertain this, I no longer accept behaviors like this. And that's why you put no contact in place. But just in reference to myself and how I choose to do it, I have come to the realization and accept the fact that he is who he is. I cannot change him. I cannot make him into someone that he's not. So, because I've accepted who he is, and I know that that's who he is as a person, it's not going to change me as a person who I am. Sorry, guys, my laptop is dying. It's not going to change me as a person, because my intentions is I've always kids to have a relationship with their dad. That's the reason I stayed so long. So I get asked that question a lot is, why did you stay so long? I stayed because I really wanted a better home, a better environment for my children. And I stayed because I figured that was the way to go about it, is to hang in there, tough it out. That's not so true. That's really not. Let me just plug this in, guys, and I'll be right back. Let me just plug it right in. My laptop. Sorry. Sorry. Thank you guys so much for being patient with me. Just an oversight on my part. Not didn't see that my laptop was not as fully charged as I thought it's supposed to be. But my kids see that I'm able to laugh with their dad and talk to him. I'm not bitter about him. I'm not angry with him. And they spoke with him and they were like, Daddy, and this. And they were just so happy. And it makes me smile because I thought that I needed to stay in the household with him in order to have a relationship with him, in order to be there for my children to see healthy boundaries or healthy relationship. But I don't. And I had to learn that no, you don't have to stay and continue to endure this because you think you want to have your children needs to be in a two-parent household. Why stay and be miserable? So it was so hard. It was warm into my heart to see that he can talk to his kids and his kids can talk to their dad, and it has nothing to do with me. That's what a healthy boundary looks like. That's where you're able to not, because they're expecting you to be angry. They're expecting you to be upset. They're expecting you to have bad blood between them and to show that dynamics. Don't buy into it. Don't give into it. You do not have to have bad blood or your children to see that kind of an animosity. No, I don't believe in it and I don't do it. I'm just not at a weak place to give in to him, to allow him to come back in. And that's why the no contact is so important, because it's putting that distance between you guys. And what I've learned to do is to remove myself emotionally. Now that's how you start to build and become stronger. Remove the emotions and that trauma bonding and that attachment and that brokenness that you have attached to that person. You have to remove that in order to become whole again, in order to become healed. But it's not an easy journey, it is not an easy process. And I realized how important it is to create an environment where we can come back to sit down to talk about some of these things and to do more intense training, doing intense, more intense work together, to unite together as one. And when I say one, I'm not saying to be one with them. I'm saying with yourself, with who you are as a person, with your emotions and everything. You have to become one with yourself all over again. And that's what's going to help you to create healthy boundaries. So you would not accept people when they're walking over you, when they're disrespecting you. No. Seeing my baby smile, that makes me so happy. So if it means saying hello to him, that's okay. There's no hard feelings because we're a family for the rest of our life. It doesn't matter how it looks. We're always going to be a family, not family together, but we're connected somehow because we have children together. We don't need a relationship. You don't have to have a relationship or be in an intimate relationship with everyone that you have children with, but coexist. I don't want what happened to me to happen to my children. I didn't have a dad. I didn't grow up with a dad. He died when I was 3. Hey, Miss P, good night, my love. Night. He died when I was 3. So I didn't grow up with a dad, and that's what I was holding on to. That's what I was holding on to, and I wasn't ready for this, but since you asked about the kids and the dad and it came about, so I'm gonna share with you. Um, my dad died when I was 3, so I didn't grow up with a dad in the household. I don't know what that looks like. And because of that emptiness and that void inside of me, I wanted my children to have their dad. I didn't want them to experience that void, that emptiness that I grew up with. That's one of the reasons why I stayed so long. That's one of the reasons because I kept saying to myself that I don't want my kids to grow up without their dad. I don't want my kids to not have their dad, to not have their father in their life. And I decided that I'm going to stay for my kids. So even I saw all the signs, I saw the red flags, I can name them, tell you, walk through every bits and pieces of it. But it wasn't my reason. Everyone has their own reason. And that's why it's important for us to talk about these things. That it's not because you have children with them doesn't mean that you have to stay. Not because you have children with them doesn't mean that you have to stay and endure pain. That's not so. Absolutely not. And it wasn't until I got that awakening when I started to see my kids suffering, when I started to watch them suffer and in pain, when there'd be arguments and fights, they would run under the bed to hide. They would literally go underneath the bed in their room, close the door and hide and wait until he's not there anymore and then come out. And they'll come out and maybe find me on the steps crying and come to hush me and, oh my God, I was so scared. What's going on? I thought you were going to die and da 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 da. But guess what? If we continue to stay in these unhealthy, toxic environment, we are creating a space for the children to now grow up and come to do the same things. But what I've learned is that that was not healthy. That was not good at all. And what I had to do was that it was like an awakening that came, like a real awakening. It was like, wait, hold up. My dad died when I was 3. This man don't have a choice. He was gone, but this man is alive. He has a choice. There's no reason why he should not be in their life because we're not together anymore. So I had to come to that realization. I had to come to that root awakening that this man is very much well and alive. There's nothing wrong with him at all. Well, from what we know, right? So that was my awakening to say, he has a choice to make a decision in his children's life. My dad did not have a choice to be here. So I cannot put the two together and think that somehow it makes sense. But while I was there in it and I was mentally messed up, right? It made sense to me. Hey, Miss Clark. How are you doing, Knots? Thank you so much for joining. We're just hanging out and just having open discussion, open conversation because it's the day after Thanksgiving. So we're just hanging out. So thanks for coming in and hanging out with me as well, too. So it's really important to just build a dynamics where your kids feel safe, that they can come to talk to you about anything. And if they want to talk with their dad, or if it's a man, the opposite, right? Give them that opportunity. Do not take it away from them. Do not get your personal feelings so involved where you take that away from them. No one wants to be deprived from the other parent. Do not let your personal feelings and what you went through personally be the reason that you take away what's going on in your kid's life, that you take away their opportunity to have a healthy relationship with their parents, either one. You don't have the right to do that. Don't do it. If they're not in danger, allow them to speak to them, allow them to have that relationship with them. It is so important. That brokenness inside of us, that's why we accept men like those. That's why we take on to these men that are toxic. That's why we take on to these men that are verbally, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially abusive. We take on to these men because, or women, vice versa, right? Because we have that void, that brokenness, that emptiness inside of us that we've never addressed them and we've never taken the time to deal with them. Take the opportunity, listen to these lives, listen to these communities, listen to things, educate yourself more about narcissists, educate yourself about toxic people. And like I said, we're going to have boot camps, we're going to have training sessions, we're going to have intense training. And when I say training, whatever you call it, boot camp, training, whatever we decide that it's going to be, we're going to have these sessions where it's not going to be like this. We're going to be private and we're going to dive in and we're going to go in deep and we're going to heal and we're going to get this done properly. We're doing this. It's really important because when you have healthy boundaries, you don't entertain certain behaviors. You don't accept certain behaviors. You you put them aside. And they know once they say hello to you or first few words, they already know if you have healthy boundaries. They already know if you're broken, and they know exactly how they're going to toy with you, how they're going to play with you. So they sit and they study you in order to break you down. But this is not about them. This has nothing to do with them. This is all about you. And what you create in your household, what you create for yourself is going to affect your children. They're going to be affected by it as well. Girls are ready to come and talk to me about anything. We talk about anything, we share anything, and I give them that open platform. And I create healthy boundaries with my kids. So my kids might come home and they want to go to the park, and I might be tired. And the first thing I'll tell them is, hey, girls, I'm tired. And I know you want to go to the park, and they might be devastated. They might be heartbroken, but it's negotiation. I make a deal with them. I say, listen, give me an hour to get some rest. Give me an hour to get some sleep. And I'm going to go lay down and I'm going to get some sleep. And then in an hour, we're going to go to the park. So you see how that works? I don't know if you guys caught that, but you see how that works, right? You're going to feel so overwhelmed and feel as if, oh my God, I got to take my kids to the park. Yes, it shouldn't be a burden, but at the same time, you're only one person. So you need to learn a balance, have a nice balance so that you be able to do things and everyone feel comfortable in the mix. So what works for me is understanding that I'm a human. I'm a person too. I have feelings and I have emotions. But having that relationship with my children to be able to talk to them and let them know, mommy is tired, mommy needs some rest, we're going to do this within an hour. So set the time, set a time frame where you're going to be able to do it. Set a time to say, okay, we might not be able to do this right now, but this is when we're going to do it. This is when we're going to be able to take on certain projects. And this is small steps that you're taking, but you're making progress into healthy boundaries. That's important. Make healthy boundaries and start within your household, start within your environment, so that this way you'll be able to take that on further. You'll be able to take that into deeper relationship, a romantic relationship, because now you can say, no, I'm not going to do that, but maybe this. Reasoning, negotiation, learn it, understand it, because that's some of the small steps, the small minor adjustments that's going to help you to make bigger decisions later. Take your time. It's okay. There's no one chasing you to that finish line to get this done. Take your time, right? Take your time. Don't beat yourself up, because we weren't taught a lot of things. And let's be real about it. We weren't taught healthy boundaries. We were either taught to go sit down, shut up, ain't nobody talking to you, right? So we weren't taught healthy boundaries, because instead of saying go sit down, shut up, go over here, nobody talking to you, and shut up, shut your voice up, right, to close your mouth, instead it could have been handled in a much healthier way, right, to say, listen, give me some time, I know you need this and I know you need that, but just give me some time. Healthy dynamics, healthy relationship, it goes a long way. And it start with you taking some time for yourself. Take some time for yourself. Take some time to build that relationship with yourself. Take some time for you, because if you, oh, I don't have no time for myself. This is the killer. This is the real big one, right? The kicker. I don't have no time. I don't have no time. Oh, I want to do this, but I just don't have the time. Then if you don't have the time for yourself, you want to start a new relationship, you want to start being with someone, how do you expect that person to have time for you? So if you cannot make the time for yourself, you cannot find time to do things for yourself, to go out, to take care of yourself, to go out, have lunch by yourself, to have dinner by yourself, to be with yourself. How are you going to expect for someone to have these kind of relationship with you and have the time for you? So become who you want to be with. So if you're not setting healthy boundaries for yourself, then nobody else is going to have healthy boundaries for you. So become who you want to be with. Simple. Sounds simple, but it's a lot of shadow work. It's a lot of work that gets done, and you're going to see the results at a later time. And like Miss P just said, right? Exactly. Every relationship has to have boundaries. It doesn't matter which relationship you're going into. It doesn't matter. And if you're someone who doesn't like late night text or late night phone calls, set that expectation up front. And I'm talking about just a simple relationship. And that was just a simple example when it comes to a relationship. There's it's small little things that makes a big difference. And if you don't like being spoken to a certain way, then don't. Don't accept it. It's not okay. That was something I had to learn because I would always hear, well, you allow them to treat you that way. What? And I would think to myself and call me whatever, but I used to think to myself, how am I allowing them to treat me a certain kind of way? How can I allow somebody to treat me a certain kind of way? I don't see how I could do that. But what I had to understand and what I learned was that you're allowing them to treat you that kind of way because you're accepting it. So when you accept something, that means you co-sign with it, you came into agreement with it, you said it's okay. It didn't make sense to me at first because I would think, I can't tell somebody how to treat me. They're going to treat me how they want to treat me. How am I going to, what do you mean I'm allowing them to treat me like this? I'm allowing them to do this to me. How did I allow it? It didn't register to me. It didn't click to me that I was an enabler. I enable it because I allowed it. I okayed it. I co-signed with it. I said that it was okay. And just by you saying that it's okay for someone to treat you that way, you're accepting it. That's how you allow it. That's how you enable it. And I had to learn that the hard way. So now, if I don't treat myself a certain way, guess what? You're not either. So I became who I want to be with. I became that person who, this is the expectation and the standards that I set for myself. And these are the standards that it goes for you too. So what I don't want for myself, I'm not going to do it for you, and vice versa. So these are some of the things that you want to start creating: healthy boundaries, healthy relationships with yourself. And it starts with you. Okay. It starts right with you. Any more questions you guys have for me? Thanks for this compliment over here, Kanita. I'm gonna just put it up. Kanita said, Vanessa, you are a very strong woman, especially for your kids. May God bless your heart, my love. Thank you so much. I thank you. I didn't think I was strong. I didn't think I had the strength to do it. I believed in myself, though. I really believed in myself that I could do anything I put my mind to, and anything that I believe that I could do. I really believed in myself, but I felt defeated. I felt very weak because I thought that I was failing. I thought that I was a failure. I thought that not having a successful marriage and being in a two-parent household, that I was a failure. I used to, and that's why I hung on so much. And I stayed, because I didn't want to be a failure, because society has put that stigma on you for you to think that you are a failure if it's not this way. But like, something's got to give. You can't sit there and suffer like this and tell me that this is okay. Like, something has to give. And I was willing to give up on it. And I gave it a go. I was like, listen, I don't think you want this for me. Because if this is what you want for me, I don't want it. Don't. So sometimes you have to go into that negotiation and say, this is not for me. You don't want this. This is not healthy. There's no way you could tell me that this is the type of relationship that I'm supposed to have. This is how I'm supposed to go out and be successful. No. But I was meant like, society really puts that pressure on you mentally to make you think that it has to be a certain way. No, no, no. I'm going to decide how it's going to be in my life, because that did not work for me. I was broken, unhealthy. Like, it was crazy. And I was never that type of person. A little bit of backstory about me was that I went to college to study pharmaceutical. And a part of my studies is studying pharmaceutical. I was learning how to make medications and pills and all these things in college, dissecting pigs. And you know what it's like in school. That's what I was studying in school. But then that changed because of different reasons in our house, in our family dynamics. And I started studying business administration in school. And from business administration, I went to another college to study criminal justice. So I have the experience in criminal justice and a lot of background experience. So I'm someone, that you could say is doing a little bit of something for herself, right? And then I was a branch manager for Chase Bank for 12 years as a branch manager for the bank. So I do have experience of interacting with people, and you could say in a decent class and or environment. So this is something that could happen to anyone. No one is eliminated from it. Doctors, lawyers, anyone. It could happen to anyone because it has nothing to do with your status. It has nothing to do with what you think you've accomplished. Because if you have unhealed wounds and broken wounds that are inside, that's what's going to stand out. That's what's going to lead, not your degree, not your success, because all those things are covered. All those are coverage for you as a person and what's really going on inside. That's all a cover. The truth really is you as a person. So it doesn't matter the degree or anything that you think you have. No, it's what's inside of you. That's what's going to come out. So I really didn't think I was strong. I didn't want to seem like a failure because things that I've put my mind to, I've always been able to accomplish them. And I've always been able to go forward and do these things. So a lot of times when we end up being in a relationship with a toxic, unhealthy person, it's not because we were horrible people. And it's not because we were broken or we're not intelligent or anything like that. They preyed on us because they saw an opening. There was a crack in the foundation, and they saw that crack in the foundation, and that's how they were able to come in. So, in order to become whole, in order to become healed, we have to seal these cracks. We have to seal these cracks and make sure that our foundations are strong. Having a strong, healthy foundation is going to help you to become whole. It's going to help you to put healthy boundaries in place. It's going to let people know that you're not going to stand for the stuff that they're giving you. You're not going to accept what they're doing to you because that's not okay at all. But it starts with you. I had to start learning that, listen, I know who I am. I know who I was. I know what I've been through. And this right here, this is not it. And I was carrying a lot of shame. I was ashamed that I was in it. I was so ashamed that I became a reflection of that person. I was so ashamed in it that I stayed and I kept quiet and I took the abuse and I took the suffering and I took everything because I was ashamed. And that person would drive fear into me constantly about many numerous different things. And we're going to go into that as we continue to share and to be transparent with each other. So, my word of encouragement and my advice to you tonight would be, do not let fear dictate who you are, where you're going, your journey, your purpose, and what you're destined to be. Fear does not have a hold on you. Fear is a limitation. Do not be limited to what fear says that you can or cannot do. You are not fear. Fear does not define you. It doesn't define you at all. So do not sit back and accept fear. Do not accept defeat. Do not accept any of these things because it's unhealthy. Don't take it. And we're hanging out with me, spending time where we sit and we talk about stuff. I'm never going to put you in a position to feel fearful about anything. I want to make sure that you have an environment, a place to come and feel free that we can talk about stuff. And it's a no judgment zone. We've all been through something. Some of us are just not brave enough to talk about it or to stand up or to let it define us continuously. Some of us have been through many different situations, and it's okay. Don't let anyone judge you. No, you are the one who's going to dictate and determine what goes on in your life. You're the one who has that authority over your life. Don't give anyone else authority over your life. They nah. Mm-mm. Do not give people that authority over your life. So we are in this together and we're strong. You guys are strong. You guys are so strong. You guys are strong souls. Listen, you guys are so, like, when I really think about it, you guys are still here. There are so many other people that have lost their lives in this situation. Because people think this is something to play with. It's really not something to play with. A lot of people have really lost their lives dealing with these narcissistic, abusive people. And a lot of the reason that some people really stay longer is because they don't feel like there's a way out. They don't feel like they have support. They don't think that they have the right help and the community to get them out of it. And a lot of time they stay and it becomes beyond dangerous and so hard to leave that a lot of times they don't make it out alive. So for you guys who are here and even hanging out with me tonight or whenever you watch this on the replay, you're here. You're alive. There was an attack on your life. There was basically a bounty on your life, pretty much. And they failed. They failed at hurting you. They failed at attacking you. They failed at breaking you. So don't feel as if you lost. Do not accept fear. Do not accept defeat. Do not accept brokenness because it doesn't define you. It does not dictate who you are. Don't accept it. You guys are so strong. You guys are going every day. You guys are getting up, going out there and taking on this world. And I know a lot of times you feel defeated or feel broken because, oh, I miss them and I feel like oh my God, I feel so lonely. I feel so like I can't do without this person. Oh my God. And what you're going through at that time is just withdrawal. Ruminating will create that space of withdrawal. And while you're having those withdrawal symptoms, that's what it looks like. Don't beat yourself up about it. Accept it, acknowledge it, and move on. Keep moving. One day at a time, one foot in front of the other. Just keep going and celebrate your wins. Like if you've made it a day narc free, celebrate that. And yesterday was Thanksgiving. You guys were not with this narcissist for Thanksgiving. Celebrate that one. Hey, Mags. Hey, Connie Barnes. Good night, y'all. Celebrate these wins. Celebrate them. If you're going a year, 2 years, listen, you know what Thanksgiving would look like. You know what these holidays would look like with this narcissistic person. You will be the one cooking dinner the entire time. You'll be in the kitchen. You will get no help from them. You will get no support from them. You will get nothing from them. You know what that looks like. So you were able to have a holiday yesterday without these monsters in your life. Listen, celebrate that one, okay? A high five for you guys. That was a narc free Thanksgiving. That was a narc free Thanksgiving. You're not the one left to clean up everything after them because, okay, let's be real. Regardless, you would have cooked, clean up, or whatever. But guess what, though? It happened on your watch, your terms, whatever you wanted to do, okay? You weren't being bossed around, pushed around, disrespected, cussed out, belittled on Thanksgiving, a day to be grateful. They cannot allow you to enjoy a holiday, enjoy a season, enjoy anything good. First of all, do you guys see the lights and stuff that are outside? The lights, the celebration, the trees, whatever you guys do. Listen, it's a season of fun. It's a season of happiness. Do not let these monsters break you down, pull you in, and what? What? You better take that. Listen, take back your boss baton, okay? You passed it for too long. Take it back. It's yours. Don't give it to them no more. Pass it to who? No, 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 no. You taking back that baton because what? You are not here bullying me. You're not here tossing me around. You're not here taking me for granted anymore. Decide how this Thanksgiving or Christmas or this holiday season is going to go. And it might feel a little bit lonely, and I get it. Uh-uh. It won't be dark forever. It won't be lonely forever. But while you sit in the seat, while you sit going through this, that's where your strength is going to come in. That's what's going to make you stronger because you are sitting in what you're going through. And you're starting to realize that you survived last night. You survived yesterday. No one was fighting you. No one was beating up on you. No one was disrespecting you, calling you out your name. That did not happen. What? That was a narc free Thanksgiving. I don't know if you guys enjoyed your narc free Thanksgiving. I did. So I'm going to just put me a nice 8 in the chat and let you guys know that yes, I did. So if you guys enjoyed a narc free Thanksgiving, go ahead and type 8 inside the chat box for me and let me know that yes, you enjoyed a narc free Thanksgiving. And I see Miss P made a comment here, right? She said, that's why I don't live my life according to society. Society doesn't run my house. Okay? Spoken like a true boss. Spoken like a true boss, okay? Because society will let you sit there and suffer and continue to suffer in silence. We are not suffering in silence no more. Hey, we are not suffering in silence no more. Okay? All right. Listen, guys, I so love you guys. You guys give me the strength to be here. You guys give me the strength, the encouragement to sit here and to bring it, to bring what we've been holding on for so long, what we've been suffering for so long. We held on to so much. And that's why they picked us because we're so strong and we'll fix any situation. We'll turn anything that's bad and we'll make it good. We'll take anything that's broken and we'll fix it. We'll figure out a way. If they decide that they want to do something, we're going to find a way how we're going to turn things around, how we're going to make it work for them. If they said to us that they want to be a truck driver, we're going to find out what books they need to study. We're going to find out what exams. We're going to do every little thing to make this possible for them. But guess what we failed to do? Well, I've always wanted to, you know, join a club, write a book, do something. I've always wanted to do something, but you never put in the time for yourself. You don't start finding out how to do it. Like you don't start putting in that little work for yourself, but you're willing to do it for somebody else. You're willing to give all of you to someone else and not receive anything from them, but continue to pour into them. Turn around. Turn around and focus inward on you. Turn around and focus inward on you. It's about you. It matters what you do for yourself. Turn it inward on you. You guys are so I just love the community here. I just love the community here because when I look at y'all, I see myself and I see the strength in us. And I see the strength that whatever you guys set for us to break us, we're standing tall above it. We're standing up to let you know that whatever you thought that was going to be the dictation of me, whatever you thought that you had plans to determine how my life was going to turn out, you're wrong. And you have to deal with how wrong you are about me because I'm better than that. I'm bigger than that. And guess what? Now I got my confidence back. What? Who are you talking to? Oh, you got something to say? You better write me a note. Okay? Don't even raise your voice at me. Write me a note and I'll get to it when I get to it. Obviously, I'm not that rude, but it's no, be confident. You don't have to be nasty and rude now. But what I'm saying is be bold in yourself. Be confident in yourself. That's what we're going to bring back. We're going to bring that back because somewhere along the lines, their codependency stuff was kicking in, right? You lack boundaries somewhere in there, right? Your self-esteem was somewhere in there shattered, right? Your self-worth was somewhere in there shattered, right? Your identity was somewhere in there shattered, right? So let's get to that. That's what I want to get to. You guys know how I do. We'll talk about stuff, we'll relate to stuff, and we'll dive into it and we'll go in. But we still gonna, rip the band-aid off. Yeah, we do. Unfortunately, I like ripping the band-aid off. Yeah, that's the hard part. That's the part that hurts the most when you rip the band-aid off and you start to go in. It gets ugly, it gets scary. Don't be scared though. It's your wound. Look at it. Yeah, I know. I didn't like how mine looked either when I ripped the band-aid off. Ooh, it was ugly. But it was necessary. Very necessary. And that's what you'll get from me is that truth. It's yeah. Yeah, no covering up. I can't. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste mine. So I rather, give you something good to go with. Give you something that's going to at least start bringing that vibe where you're like, whoa, it was in front of me the whole time. I didn't see it. Right. I'm going to read a comment here from Kanita. Kanita says, Amen, sis. I totally enjoy my narc-free Thanksgiving with my family, right? Pass me the cornbread. Pass me that. Pass me this, right? Just pass me that. Like something, like, yes. And you smile, like, you end up smiling. Like, it was just a beautiful, like, and I feel hard. I feel bad for the ones who were so devastated during the season yesterday. Like, it's not about them. It's you. It's you. You got to make yourself happy. You got to start becoming one with yourself. You got to start loving you so much that it doesn't, like what other people do does not affect you. You want to get to that stage where you're not bothered by other people. Because I'm going to tell you, you're going to be triggered. So if you're looking for a quick fix for stuff, not going to happen. You're going to be triggered. Things are going to be triggering you. But it's not about that, oh my goodness, how do I handle triggers? What do I do? Oh God, it's going to trigger me. And you start backing up and you start driving, yes, and you start getting into fear. No, no. Cope with them. Be fully aware of your triggers. Cope with them. Take deep breath, whatever techniques and things that's going to help you to cope with these triggers. People are going to trigger you. Things are going to trigger you. But you're going to have to deal with these triggers. And that's what's going to help you to become better. Because when you're taken away or withdrawn from someone, memories are going to pop up. I was watching something last night. And I'm being honest with you guys, I was watching something. And it was a small, like a 1-minute clip. But the theme behind it was the partners, the couples, they're upset at each other, but because they still care, they're doing things to show their care. So regardless, the guy was upset, but the lady made sure, okay, the wife, she made sure, here's your wallet when you're going out the door. Even though they're not speaking, or they're sitting beside each other and it's like, here's the blanket, even though we're not speaking. So it's okay that they're still upset at each other, but they still care about each other, care enough to do the small little things that matters. And that like tears was running down my eyes just watching it. So when I tell you, like, you're gonna have triggers, things are going to trigger you, but you want to be able to manage these triggers. You're gonna be triggered. You can't help it because you're living in a world, in a society where things are going to come around where you might not be expecting them, but learn how to deal with them. I allow my tears to flow. It was okay. I'm not jealous of them. I'm not broken from them, but I understood. I was able to relate. And that's where my tears came from, a place where I was able to relate. It was like, that's the kind of relationship I would like. That's what I admire. It's not, they're showing you that it's okay to be upset. You don't have to be nasty and carrying on. And that's what I was exposed to, the nasty part of things. But I knew there was this. where you're able to be upset, but at the same time be respectful, be mindful of each other. I knew that existed, and that's what I always wanted. But you can't want what somebody don't have to give to you. They cannot give you what they don't have. So you could sit there and want something from someone, but you're not going to get it. But you're fully aware of what it's supposed to look like, and you hang around hoping that eventually this person will turn things around and show you what you're expecting, or what you're looking for. They already know they cannot fulfill that. They already know they do not meet the qualifications. They're just in it for the long haul. They're just in it for the ride to see how they can break you down. And that's what gets them exciting, is to be able to break you down. That's where their pleasure comes in. That's where their joy comes in, is to be able to break you down, to defeat you, because it's exciting for them to see what they can do to you. But I just always know that kind of love exists. That kind of relationship exists, where even though you're mad at each other, you don't have to treat each other like crap. You don't. You're allowed to be upset. You're allowed to express yourself. You're allowed to be in your feelings. Like, there's no perfect thing out here, but how do you handle it? So you guys are going to have triggers. Promise you, they're going to come. One last night, and it was just tears running down, but it was relatable tears. Relatable tears. Guys, don't beat yourself up. Like, don't be ashamed either. For Yeah, right? Not being with them for ruining it. Kanita, I get it. Not being in there. Oh, you can relate? I bet. Miss P is like, I'll put my 8 in here because I can relate, right? Absolutely. That's a relatable one. I'll put the 8 in there because you can relate. Thank you so much, my love. I so appreciate you. The narc can sure drain your energy. Listen, listen, it's a whole on its own, okay? So listen, so tell me that you were celebrating last night because you wasn't drained. You have energy. You was not drained last night from Thanksgiving because you now have energy because they were not there to drain you. So like Natalia says, right? The narc can sure drain your energy. You focus so much on putting so much into them that you forget who you are. Yes. Yes, like, listen, hands down, high five, hands down, yes. You become so broken, so busted, like you've lost yourself trying to please these people. I didn't know who I became because I was chasing this person back and forth, just chasing behind them, trying to do everything for them. So I lost myself. I lost myself completely. But you know what? It feels good on this side of town. Sure feels good on the other side. I cannot wait to celebrate with everyone being on the other side. Guys, put in that work. Put in that work. Put in that work. That work. And I'm going to share Miss P's comment, what she said, right? God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of sound mind and understanding, okay? Sound mind. So if someone is in your corner that's giving you confusion, giving you fear, giving you all these things, keep an eye out. Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes. Confusion. The devil is the author of confusion. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. These little things, these little nuggets is what's going to take you on to your next journey, your next chapter, your next season. Listen, take them with you. Whatever you got out of our night tonight, take it with you. Take it with you. The season has begun, guys. The season has begun where love is in the air and it feels nice. It's gift giving. It's a season of forgiving, feeling nice. Don't lose you. Don't forget who you are and how hard you have worked to get here. Do not forget who you are. A snake a snake only sheds its skin because of the season. It's still a snake. It is still a snake. You've worked so hard to be here. Do not throw it all away because the season feels warm, or the season feels cold and you want to feel warm. Get an extra blanket, Yeah. If you have to. Their soul is missing, laying beside you anyway. Get a blanket. Get a blanket. It's just the same thing. They're soulless being next to you. You don't need to submit yourself to that anymore. The season is gonna be cold. You're gonna feel like you're missing out on something. Do not take on that pressure of society. Don't. Don't take on the pressure. Do not take it on. It's bigger than you. It will consume you. Don't take it on. Walk in your true identity. Walk in your truth. Walk in who you are. Do not take on what society gave you because them themselves, they can't handle it. They can't handle it. They can't handle it. I pray to God I get there. Almost there, just not yet. Listen, the power of yet. My daughter came home from school 2 years ago. She said, Mommy, I learned something at school. I said, What did you learn? She said, The power of yet. And I asked her, Explain to me, what does it mean, the power of yet? She said, Because I'm so small, I'm not able to do something as yet. I said, Oh, okay. So, Mags, this is for you, Mags. The power of yet. Okay? The power of yet. You're just not there yet. That's it. You will get there, okay? And take your time. And you're going to remember, you're right. I'm just not there yet. The power of yet. So if I leave you guys with anything tonight, and if you have any questions, guys, throw a question out at me if you have any questions or if you wanted me to address anything. I know tonight we just came to hang out and just talk randomly about anything. And for some reason, it felt like my kids became the theme of tonight, right? How they're doing, and really seeing that they called their dad for Thanksgiving, and it was good. Like they spoke with him, and I don't listen. That's their business. You have to stop being so controlling. Because remember, the only person that you can control is yourself. So once you start learning and know and understand that the only person that you can control is yourself. Self control. You're right. I'm seeing the comment, right? Being alone does not mean that you're lonely. Because if you're in a room by yourself and you're still miserable and you're going crazy, is the problem really the other person or is it you? Because there's no one there to bother you. So yeah, being alone does not mean that you're lonely. Don't believe that nonsense at all. Like, don't believe that nonsense. So the power of yet is what's going to help you to get to your next destination. Guys, I really so appreciate you guys spending time with me. And after this, I'm really just going to wash off my pretty face, right? And just relax with my kids. We're going to have movie night after this because they told me, Mom, once you're done with your life tonight, hang out and have a movie night. And I told them yes. So set boundaries, set little healthy processes, little things that's beneficial for you. Go ahead and set little things and do little things, little victories, celebrate your wins. Little victories, little wins, celebrate your wins. They're yours. Celebrate them. Have the time. Rebuild yourself. Utilize your time. Become who you want to be. Become you again, find you again. Guys, I thank you. I thank you so much. I didn't see any additional questions came in, just a lot of love, right? I enjoyed hanging out with you guys tonight because I enjoyed hanging out with you. I'm dropping my 8 in the comment section so that you guys can know that I did enjoy hanging out with you guys tonight. If you found this information useful, you like what we spoke about tonight, listen, drop me an 8. Drop an 8 in the comment section, and I know that you enjoyed it, right? Guys, I so appreciate you. I really, really, really do. Next Friday, I believe it's between two different. So it's not a surprise, okay? I'm not gonna just say surprise, right? Like I did the other time. But what I'm gonna do is next week, I might have between two, it might be a variation. I might have a panel discussion with multiple guests so we can all get together and have like a nice debate kind of conversation about these topics, or I might treat us, including myself, to have a doctor come on who does mental health, so he can help us to be aware of some of these mental health and how it draws sickness and make us sick. So I might be able to bring on either one, but I'm gonna see what works best, because regardless, all the knowledge, the nuggets we can get, we are going to get it. We are going to take it. We are going to recover, and we're going to become whole. We're going to become the best version of ourselves. And that's what I want for myself. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm extending it to you guys just the same. It's no different. We're going to get through this together, and we're going to get to the other side of this much better, stronger, better, and confident, most of all. Confidence. Okay? Be confident. Let your yay be your yay and your nay be your nay. Guys, I love you all so much. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I pray that God will bless you, protect you, and keep you safe. And may He cover you in your destination, in your journeys going out, wherever you're going to and from. I pray that He takes you there safe and bring you back home safe. Be covered, be blessed, and understand that you are healed one day at a time. It's a healing process. It's you're never going to be 100% because we are living. There's always something to heal from, always things to from. There's always something to become better at. There's always something to help you to elevate, to continue to grow, to become better and better and better. Do not let anyone pressure you to think that it's going to happen overnight. It's a journey, it's a process, and it's going to take time for us to get there. And we keep going and we keep growing and evolve and become better one day at a time. I love you guys. Have an amazing, amazing night. Be blessed, be encouraged. Know that you are not in this alone. And my job here is to empower you to become your greatest self. Love you all. Good night and be blessed, guys.